This is MRN Out Loud, brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MRN Out Loud. I'm Woody Cain. While NASCAR continues to work through the Olympic break and there are no scheduled races coming up this weekend, there was one significant announcement this week. Sage Karam, the IndyCar driver, has signed a deal to run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course in the Xfinity Series. We'll talk with him about that experience, who he's been talking to get ready, and how he went to his wedding with a black eye. All that's ahead on this week's edition of MRN Out Loud. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Sage Karam is with us now. You may know him from the IndyCar ranks, but he's also done just a little bit of everything, it seems, in racing. iRacing, remote control cars, dirt bikes, the IndyCar Series, the Rolex 24, you name it. But Sage, now you're going to go race in the Xfinity Series. Are you just trying to check off all the items on the bucket list or what?
Yeah, I think as a race car driver, it's really good to, get in as much stuff as you possibly can. You learn more and more with everything you get to drive. So this is just something for me to get a good try at, and hopefully it's something that leads to something else down the road. I've always said that I really wanted to get an Xfinity car. I just really never knew how to get about that, like who to contact and stuff like that. But we had a really good run at the Indy 500 this year, getting 7th, and I think that opened up some doors. And I'm really excited to be on board with Jordan Anderson Racing in the number 31 Montage Mountain Chevy Camaro. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun going to one of my favorite tracks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course this time. So I'm looking forward to it.
2 top 10 finishes in the Indy 500, and that's a resume a lot of guys would say, okay, I've done everything I wanted to do in racing, but you're continuing to move forward. I'm wondering about your how many laps do you have, for example, on the road course at Indy? I know you've done the traditional oval.
Yeah, I have a couple. I did 2 IndyCar races there last year on the road course. So it's definitely fresh in my mind of how the place goes. I just never drove anything like an Xfinity car. It's with it being a stock car, it's completely different from what I'm used to. So it's going to be a big learning experience, even though I know the circuit quite well. It's a completely different world for me going into a stock car. So I have a lot to learn and a lot to handle. But I think with Jordan, by my side and within his equipment, I think he's definitely going to give me a car that is capable of doing very, very well there. And I just got to kind of learn from everybody, and every lap I'm out there, just keep chipping away at it, and hopefully bring home a strong result.
I was talking recently with one of the Camping World Truck Series drivers when they were about to race at Knoxville on the dirt. And I asked him, is it better to be an experienced dirt racer with not so much truck experience, or a better truck racer with not so much dirt experience? And he felt like the vehicle was more the key. If you can drive that vehicle, then you're going to be successful almost no matter where you go. So I got to ask you, who are you leaning on to get comfortable and get familiar with this car? Because all forms of motorsports, it seems, have had limited practice amounts and testing opportunities recently.
Yeah, so obviously I got to look at who's raced in both open wheel and stock car. And one person I called recently was Jimmy Johnson. He was obviously a long time, very successful NASCAR driver, and is now dipping his feet in IndyCar. So I figured,
what does that guy know? He just won 7 championships. That's all.
Yeah, very successful. No, I think he would be probably the best guy to talk to, because he's driving the current IndyCar that I'm familiar with, and with all his stock car knowledge and experience. So I gave him a call and just kind of picked his mind with what are some of the key differences and things I got to look out for. And, he said some things that I expected, and then some things that, I really didn't know. And
what did surprise you? I'm curious, what surprised you about what he said?
It was just like these little things, he would say, and I just totally forgot, like the car's an H pattern, right? So like I haven't drove an H pattern since 2010. So it's been a while. It's been 11 years. So, just teaching me, or not teaching me, but telling me tips on how to do that with matching the RPMs on every downshift so you don't get wheel hopping. Like I've never experienced wheel hopping, so I don't know like what that is. And he was kind of running me through that.
He did say it's not good, right?
He said it's not good at all. Yeah. That. And then, I one of my questions was like pit lane, like how do you stay the speed limit basically? And he's like, it's all with your foot, and you probably be looking at lights on the dash and stuff like that, and in IndyCar we have just a button and it keeps us at that limiter. So it's just these little things that I'm going to have to get used to. The tire's different. I think the car itself is a lot heavier, so it's not going to break as well. And, the tires will wear, a bit more substantially than what I'm used to. So it's getting everything out of the car in qualifying, but then also in the race, taking care of the equipment and making it be good for the long run.
August 14th is the date of that Xfinity race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. So between now and then, what's on your calendar? I know you'll be making more phone calls likely and getting up with the team and that type of thing, but you've got a busy calendar all around, it seems like.
Yeah, we, definitely going to be busy the next couple of weeks leading up to the race. I'll be going down to Charlotte on Wednesday to meet the team, do a seat fit, get comfortable in there and kind of just get acclimated a little bit. And then hopefully I can get on the simulator for a day or two while I'm down there at Chevy. So, definitely going to be busy getting ready for that with going down to Charlotte. And then for just at home, I have a simulator at my house that I'll be trying to take full advantage of.
Now we're not talking about like an iRacing rig, right? We're talking about a next level from that.
I mean, it's iRacing. So like, it's not, it'll give me some sort of references and stuff, but for me, like it'll be really good to go down to Charlotte and get into the actual Chevrolet sim. I think that'll be a big help for me. It was a big help for me in IndyCar. So if I can get down there for a day or two, I'd take full advantage of that. But like you said earlier, we don't get much testing anymore, and so I'm gonna have to show up on my A game ready to go and learn everything quite quickly. And I think it's only one practice and a qual and then race, you gotta get after it. So a lot of things I got to learn in a short amount of time, but we're ready for the challenge.
I mentioned at the beginning that you had done some IMSA racing as well. You were with Ganassi for a while in the Rolex 24, running with Jamie McMurray, among others, Scott Pruitt. I know that's still apples and oranges, but did that experience anything from that, you think? Will that help you make this transition because it's sort of like maybe a step between the Indy cars and the stock cars?
I think so. I definitely have some sports car experience. Like you said, with Chip Ganassi, I ran prototype. I'm fortunate enough to have some really cool teammates over there, like Scott Pruitt and Jamie McMurray. I had Kyle Larson one year, and then a bunch of the IndyCar guys as well for Daytona 24. So that was a lot of fun. And then I raced for Lexus for 2 years in GTD, and I think that's more similar than prototype was probably to stock car. So I'm hoping that kind of feeling is similar. I know there's going to be still key differences. The sports car has traction control and ABS system and stuff like that. So I know the stock car doesn't have those things. So there's definitely going to be things that are different that I gotta learn. But I am hoping that that's kind of like bridging the gap. So we'll see. Again, I just feel like I'm not going to know until I just get out there and just start turning laps and seeing what I'm feeling. But what I do know is that I'm going to be a giant sponge, that entire weekend and just learning and hopefully I can just bring home the best result possible for the team.
My grandfather told me one time, you stop learning, you stop living. And I think that's a fact. The older I get, the more I see that he's right on the money with that. Sage, stand by. We'll take a quick break, come back and pick up the conversation. Okay, here we go. We're back with Sage Karam. The IndyCar driver is about to make his debut in the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming up August 14th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. But Sage, before we talk a little more racing, you're a newlywed. You mentioned in the beginning you just got back from your honeymoon not too long ago. Is your wife okay with, okay, sorry, honey, I got to go?
Yeah, she definitely is. You know, she's kind of been through all the ups and downs of my racing career over the last few years, and he knows I'm happiest when I'm behind the wheel of a car. So he's definitely really supportive of it. She'll be at the race. We're really looking forward to it. Like you said, we just got married last week, and I actually just got back from Mexico for our honeymoon. So that was a lot of fun. It was good to relax, but you know, now we're definitely in race mode and getting ready for this.
Now, I understand there are also 2 dogs involved. Were they your dogs, her dogs, or one of each? How did that happen?
Yeah, so we have 2 dogs. We have a golden doodle named Fetty. She's 6 years old, and a mini Bernedoodle named Drake. He's 3. And I had Fetty before I started dating her when I was living in Indianapolis. And then when we got in an apartment together, we actually got Drake. So, but I think she'll say they're both her dogs.
That's the dogs usually gravitate to the girls. That's a fact for sure. Now, one more thing on this wedding deal, because I saw that you actually did your wedding with a black eye. What in the world happened?
Yes, I did, and she was not about that. I'm a wrestler. I wrestled my whole life since I was about 4 years old, all the way through high school. And my dad was also a wrestler, and he wrestled Division I in college. And we were just at the rehearsal dinner, having a good time, having a couple drinks. And I looked at my dad and he looked at me, and we just kind of were just like, hey, you want to wrestle? And sure enough, that's what happened. We got wrestling and gave me a black eye. And I've never had a black eye in my life. And of course, it's right before my wedding, the night before. She was all upset because she did the majority of the planning for the wedding, you know, for about a year. And for me to do that, definitely wasn't cool.
She goes, you got a black eye? What about the pictures? What are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I think I had more makeup on for the photos than she did.
That's awesome. That's a great story. You'll tell your grandchildren about that, I'm sure. Let's jump back to the racing right quick. What do you hope to get from this experience other than learning something? Is it something that you'd like to continue doing down the road? Are there more maybe on your calendar this year, or is everything still kind of up in the air right now?
Yeah, you know, I think for me, I go into every race hoping that I do my absolute best, that it can lead to more opportunities down the road. So that's always been my goal. And I always will go in wanting to win. You know, I know it's going to be a hard challenge for me since it is so new to me, but I do want to win races and finish on the podium and do my absolute best. So I know if I can go in there with that mentality and have a strong result, it could probably lead to some more races down the road. You know, I think I definitely want to try more racing, and this is definitely one of the first steps. Whether I want to, you know, go do a truck race or something like that, I think that would be a lot of fun as well. I want to try some dirt stuff. But yeah, I think I'm a racer. I want to be racing week in and week out, and this is probably the first step into accomplishing that. I just got to produce on track and give people a reason to keep putting me in a car.
Aside from this Xfinity deal, what's the rest of your racing calendar that you do know about already for this year look like?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, this is basically what I got on it. And, you know, I've been talking with the team, trying to get a couple more races in Xfinity put on there as well. So, you know, I'd like to try some more road course racing. I'd love to try a short track. And then eventually maybe get to a super speedway or something. So, I think we're definitely in talks with doing some more races with Jordan. I think right now everybody's just kind of waiting and seeing how the weekend goes at Indy. And, you know, I think if it goes smoothly, there's a good chance we could be at some more races.
It's going to be fun to watch for sure. Sage, we appreciate your time. Good luck at Indy and for the rest of the season. I know you're going to be popping up in a bunch more things, maybe NHRA or an airplane race. Who knows? You seem to be in everything you can find. So good luck with that, man. It seems to be a really thrilling type of life.
Yeah, thank you so much. Having a lot of fun.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
That's all the time we've got on this week's edition of MRN Out Loud. We want to thank Sage Karam for joining us as he gets set to make his Xfinity Series debut August 14th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Our friends at the Performance Racing Network and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Racing Radio Network will have coverage of that event. Until we see you right back here next week, I'm Woody Cain saying thanks for joining us on MRN Out Loud.